The vastly experienced Karina Szmalenberg, once upon a time Karina Kapinska, and you'll remember her, she had quite a famous opponent once upon a time. More on that in due course. In truth, she's been in with a who's who of famous female opponents. This her 81st fight. Bags of experience, no win in her last 22 over a couple of years, but bags and bags and bags of pedigree and experience.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her opponent to the ring, Harli Whitwell.
Going into the next fight, changing up the game plan a bit, making sure I excel. Yeah, I'm fighting Karina, so she'll know what to expect from me. Yeah, I'm going to be 100% a better fighter. I know she's going to come with her A game. She's going to know what to expect from me. Especially, I've got someone in her team. Really grateful to be on the shows. Yeah, I'm going to be a lot stronger this time round. I'll see her on the day and may the best fighter win.
It's been a very impressive start to the career of Harli Whitwell, talented amateur, and does everything particularly well. Really stylish boxer, puts her punches together particularly well. That's Steve in the corner with her, part of the story as well. And it was that trust in the process, trust in the technique that got her a late stoppage against Angelina Oles back in February here in this very ring. George and I were ringside that night, and Oles, a stablemate, friend of Szmalenberg, so they'll have been comparing notes. Will it make any difference tonight, I suppose, is a fair question to ask. All the experiences with the Polish fighter, but Whitwell is on the up, and although she's in no rush and her team are preaching patience, a very mature approach in the women's game for a fighter at the stage of her career, sounds like Johnny Clark promoters got other plans, and title fights perhaps only just around the corner for the 23-year-old, should she continue to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 8 two-minute rounds in the women's lightweight division. This bout is brought to you by Johnny Clark of Top Tier Boxing and their proud sponsors, by Insulations, Think Green Partners, Synergy Direct, and Triple Solar. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, your timekeeper at the bell, Brett Bowles, and the third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Reese Carter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, she's wearing the red and white. Her official weight of 9 stones, 8 pounds. She has a record of 78 fights, 4 draws, 14 wins, and 3 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Poland, Karina Szmalenberg. And her opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. She's wearing the white and silver. Her official weight of 9 stones, 7 pounds. She is currently undefeated with 4 wins, and 2 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Cambridgeshire, England's United Kingdom, introducing Harli Whitwell.
Right, ladies and professionals, your rules, keep it clean, listen to my instructions, and defend yourselves at all times. Good luck, shake hands.
Here we go then, scheduled for 8 this, moving up in distance, Harli Whitwell, 4-0, and moving on from 6-round contests up to 8 for the first time in her career. And George, we saw her a couple of months ago, and we were impressed with the technique and the style that we saw that night.
Yeah, very, very good fighter. Very sharp, throws long, loose, eye-catching punches. She started here very positively in this first round. She's trying to press the action off that front foot, trying to find the range with a jab.
Yeah, puts her punches together. She missed with the final punch of the combination. The left hook a couple of times. She's quite eager, no surprise. Quite keen to get on with it. And Andy, you know all about Szmalenberg. Once upon a time, Kapinska. You commentated on her once upon a time against the woman fighter of her generation.
Against Katie Taylor back in November 2016, that would have been her pro debut, and Kapinska was the one who got the call, and it was a huge occasion for her. And since then, she's been in with all sorts of fighters. I saw her against Natasha Jonas again. She went the distance there. She got stopped by Taylor. She's been stopped by Maeva Hamadouche as well. One other stoppage on the record, but that's it. And when you consider some of the other fighters, Chantel Cameron, Raven Chapman, Estelle Morcelli, Catherine Thanders, loads of top level fighters. She's given them all a decent run.
Yeah,
so if Whitwell can get this done here, it would be impressive.
It would be a massive statement, as you say. Went the distance with Chantel Cameron, who's obviously up in a higher weight. Natasha Jonas now up in a much higher weight, and Cameron Taylor on her debut, and that Hamadouche fight, that was on Hamadouche's debut as well. Hamadouche probably in one of the best women fights that we've ever seen, against Michaela Mayer just a couple of years ago. So she's got plenty of pedigree. Szmalenberg, she's been in with them all, and she's been the distance with quite a few of them. So big name on the record of Whitwell tonight. First couple of minutes race by, maybe a bit eager. Maybe just a bit eager, Whitwell, to get on with it. With that under her belt. We'll see her get behind her boxing. Plenty of amateur experience to call upon, Andy. She went to stacks of competitions and finals, and she's got quite a rich pedigree to call upon.
Yeah, she has. She did well herself. I remember seeing her at the NACs in the semi-finals a couple of years ago, not far away from here actually, at the University of East London, and as you say, she'd gone deep in lots of different competitions. And sister of Shona as well, who is still trying to qualify for Paris. I think she went to the last qualifier, it did work out for her. There's one more in Thailand in a few weeks' time, so that's the last chance for the GB fighters. So very best of luck to her and all of them going for that, because that is a hell of a journey trying to qualify for the Olympics.
And if you glance over to the right of our screen, next to just a couple of seats down from Johnny Clark, you'll probably see her sister Shona already bellowing out advice to Harli. They're both living every moment of this fledgling career. Really sneaking a right hand round the glove there. Whitwell, she can't quite pin Szmalenberg down at the moment, with a good sort of defensive footwork from the Polish boxer. Now she's been trapped on the ropes. Will that afford an opportunity? Quickly she dances away again. She's doing her job. So what can Whitwell do to pin her down, slow her down, George?
She just landed that right hand that went straight into the midsection, so that was a bit of variety from her, because before then it's been a little bit right hand happy to the head, and I think Szmalenberg had maybe cottoned on to that. But she's doing really well, pressing off that front foot.
Just a little, almost like a snarl there, isn't there, from Whitwell? I think she thought she might have just hurt her with one of those body shots.
I think she is beginning to get to her a little bit here already, and we're only in round two. She's got a serious wingspan on her, hasn't she, Whitwell? And she does use it pretty well. She's locked on distance-wise fairly rapidly, and I think Szmalenberg is beginning to realise that this is a hard night.
Oh, nice right hand got through, but defiance from Szmalenberg. And again, she comes back just to remind Whitwell it's not one-way traffic and she needs to pay attention to defence as well. That was spirited stuff from the pole at the end, but big moments for Whitwell in that round.
I'm trying to think now where there's father-daughter relationships in the corner. I'm sure there is. But, yeah, you know, I don't know. It's a modern world now. Usually you throw your boys in at the deep end and you may be a little bit more protective of your daughters, but I think times have changed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. We'll see very, very early days. Because James Kirkland used to have a Anne Wolfe in his corner, didn't he? Turning it on its head.
Anne Wolfe didn't take any prisoners.
No, tough lady.
She doled out one of the most savage knockouts you'll ever see in your life. Look up Anne Wolfe against Von der Ward from back in the day. Absolutely brutal.
Great shout from Andy, great shout. As we move into round 3, can Harli Whitwell build on that big second round? It just looked like she was starting to put Szmalenberg in her place. Oh, there was a body shot. Certainly not neglecting the body work so far. And I asked George about one way to slow down a moving fighter, and that's definitely one ploy to use.
Szmalenberg's been quite aggressive in this third round from the beginning, more so than the first two. I think she realises she needs to meet Whitwell a bit more. She pursued her across the ring right at the start of the round, and Whitwell showed some good skills just taking her feet out, tucking up behind the shoulder, but she really went after her 2-3 times basically, couldn't quite catch up with her. I do think those body shots could work for Whitwell down the stretch, although she did wear her right hand there.
Looks for it again, Szmalenberg, just trying to time it there. Again, tricks of the trade, grappling up close, absolutely knows what she's doing. And another clipping couple of shots, including a left hook from her. Spats of defiance from the pole, just to keep Whitwell honest.
I mean, Whitwell's already now up to 8 2-minute rounds. Won't be long, I would imagine, where a fight or two time she'll be challenging for a belt of sorts.
And of course, further down the line, it will change. I mean, whether it's going to take 10 or 20 years, we probably will get to that place, given how flourishing women's boxing is right now and has been for the last 5 or 6 years.
Now is the time to be a female fighter, isn't it? There's been a real push the last few years to really develop the sport. You always see a significant female fight almost on every show now, and there's significant money on the table for these ladies to earn in a really short space of time, because they can be fast-tracked so much quicker. So you put the work in, right time, right place, and great opportunities, and also just you can become a significant full-time pro.
Be interesting to see as well whether the enthusiasm and willingness to fight whoever, whenever, whether that continues as the depth gets broader and deeper and the competition becomes stiffer. I wonder, I hope so, but it is certainly an advantage of the women's side of the sport at the moment, their willingness to compete, test themselves, challenge themselves. It's been absolutely fantastic for the fans.
It has been. I think you're probably right, though. I think as the depth increases, things will get a little bit more complicated, a little bit more tribal with regard to promoters and networks, maybe. I don't want to sound like some kind of Scrooge, but that is probably what will happen, won't it? But if you've got that greater depth of top-level fighters, and we're going to see the good fights anyway, it might just be a bit more difficult to make the unifications and fights for undisputed that we've become used to.
Last couple of fights, Whitwell's gone 5 and a half and 6 rounds prior to that as well. Essentially, she is a stylistic boxer, but she's been looking to put it on Szmalenberg right from the start, and I think the opportunity to take a scalp has very much been on her radar tonight.
She's really gone after it, hasn't she, from the beginning. She's thrown plenty of punches. She's connected with a decent percentage of them. But Szmalenberg, good enough to be able to cover up enough that she's not really at any point been nailed absolutely clean.
Yeah, I'd like to see Whitwell just straighten that right hand. She likes to throw it bent and it comes round the side. That was better. And just put a little bit more, just a little bit more hip into it. It will land and have much more of an effect.
She's unusual, isn't she, in the women's game, Szmalenberg? She's probably as close as you'll get to what could be described as a journeyman that we see in the men's game. More often there's just women who aren't quite good enough and can operate at a certain level, but she's got stacks of experience, plenty of knowledge, knows what to do, when to do it, without necessarily doing enough to win tonight.
That body shot took something out of her, sent her back towards the neutral corner. You could see her just kind of gather herself, Szmalenberg, and heave in a breath. So not so bad that she was ever going to consider going down to a knee, but it really stopped her in her tracks.
And Andy spotted a couple of those. There have been a couple of moments, wasn't there? I think there's one in the second round and another one there in the fifth. So there have been little glimmers that just maybe Whitwell could do a bit of a job here tonight. As we move into round 6, a stabbing jab to the body there from Harli Whitwell.
I don't want to harp on too much about the 2 or 3 minute round issue because we did say we wouldn't, but one thing I'm curious about, George, is that over that shorter duration, does it make it harder to set things up? Not just over the course of, say, 20 minutes rather than 36, which you used to box at, but just within the confines of a single round. Is it in that 3rd minute or late in the 3rd minute that the fighter might almost lose concentration and fall for something that you're looking to set up, and it's less likely to happen within 2 minutes?
Yeah, quite possibly. See, I've never boxed 2-minute rounds, but the blueprint for female boxing at the moment is to throw lots of punches. And as you say, we don't see knockouts. And whether that be that they don't have time to set the shot up, or whether women take a better shot and they don't punch as hard. But it is something that I would be a fan of. You know, I think this is sometimes female boxing can be closer to amateur boxing over 2 rounds than professional boxing. So 3 rounds would see the likes of Ellie Scottney and Caroline Dubois and others who are studying to become better fighters have the time.
Oh, a couple of cracking body shots. There was 2 or 3, one after the other. Started with the left and some big shots, one of them on the bell. Some heavy leather landed there towards the end of that round, and it's a big heavy sag down onto a stool at the end of that one for Szmalenberg. I suppose the couple of alternative points to the discussion. One is 2-minute rounds, everything's on fast forward. Maybe you're more inclined to make a mistake than you might do when you're taking your time over 3 rounds. I've said before, I just think while the depth of competition isn't strong enough yet, I think if you go to 3-minute rounds, the gap between the talented fighters and the less good fighters just becomes so much more obvious and clearer. And I think the opportunity for someone to get hurt who's not good enough to look after themselves is just more obvious and evident. That's always been my view on the 2 versus 3, but I see it the other way.
That's a very valid argument. That makes a lot of sense to me. You don't want to see 3-minute rounds just so you can see more people get sparked out. What kind of reason is that? You know, that's not what anybody responsible or anybody who cares about the sport properly should want. There are quite a lot of people out there who probably do want that, but no, you make a good point.
There is a chance at the end of that 6th round, had there been another minute, that Harli Whitwell might well have got the stoppage, because she definitely hurt Szmalenberg. And it was obvious, the reaction when she went back to her stool. And this is quite alert from Whitwell to get onto it at the start of this 7th round. Of course, new territory for her, of course, so she's pushing new buttons, she's asking new questions of herself tonight.
She does throw those body shots really well, particularly that left to the body, throws that right hand, then dips off to the left, or just dips off to the left immediately like she did there, and right on cue completely misses with that one. But Szmalenberg has shown some signs of them registering 2 or 3 times maybe, but for the most part has taken them well. She's taken everything that Whitwell's thrown at her pretty efficiently.
Good tactics this though from Whitwell, isn't it, George? Right, I mean the body attack from the start, but she's trying to get on Szmalenberg's case in this round.
Yeah, I mean she's winning the fight comfortably, she's pressing the fight. That right hook to the body's been a great shot for her throughout. She might only be 1 or 2 of them right hooks to the body away from making a real significant dent in Szmalenberg. We've seen her wince and wilt a little bit, even though she has come again. She's still there or thereabouts, she's still punching back.
She's a good pro, the Paul, isn't she? Really solid pro, knows what she's doing. Just throws enough, does enough, moves enough, that always just enough to keep Whitwell away from her offer, from hurting her, and the referee at arm's length too. But another good round that from Whitwell. Szmalenberg was grateful for the water, she was glugging that down in between rounds, the corner with the water spray as well. She was gratefully receiving that refreshment, such as it was. Now Whitwell's back on her case, another thumping right hook to the body again. Good jab that from Whitwell. She has thrown a ton of body shots tonight. Good right hand got through, that just forced Szmalenberg to back off and now tie up.
It's been a good performance. She's really kept the tempo high from the very, very beginning and has never really stepped off Szmalenberg for a second. She's boxed the 8 rounds with ease.
Yeah, with gusto, I think it's fair to say. A minute to go. A minute for Harwell to continue to impress, and a minute for Szmalenberg to last out. And as Andy said, it's not just been survival from Szmalenberg throughout. But there have been moments when she has had to survive, has had to dig in. So it's had to use her experience. Left hook to the body and then thumps one upstairs again. Whitwell, she's been busy and effective and impressive. No doubt she's hurt Szmalenberg in spells too throughout the night.
She just felt another one right at the end there, Szmalenberg, because again she just stepped off, she just backed off to give herself a little bit of room. And as we've been saying all the way through, that's a good performance, because you don't want to be too obsessed with getting a stoppage against someone like her, because the stats show that it's a really difficult thing to do. She couldn't have done any more to achieve it than she did, because she worked the body relentlessly all night long, and you'd imagine that at some point that would catch up with Szmalenberg, and it's to her credit that it didn't really.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Reese Carter scores the bout 80-72. And your winner, Harli Whitwell!
Another one notched up for Harli Whitwell, who moves to 5-0. She's getting better and better and impressing every time, and Johnny Clark and the team rubbing their hands with delight at the prospect that they've got, and maybe trying to push her towards some silverware in the coming months.
Harli, you move to 4-0, you remain undefeated. Just sum up your performance in there, first time over 8 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I prepared for 8 rounds. I feel like I'm fit enough for 8 rounds. I think I made it a little bit hard work for myself in there. I'm not listening to my coach as much as I should have done, but yeah, we got the job done and I'm happy.
Very, very tough opponent, experienced opponent who's been in with everybody. It looked like your tactic was target the body. Is that something you went into the fight with, the game plan?
Yeah, she's as tough as they come, very experienced, so she knows to cover up. She knows all the shots are coming to her. So really, yeah, to attack the body is where we want to go. Really break her down, but yeah, I was kind of going to the head a bit too much this time, not the body enough. But yeah, we're working on it. I mean, every fight I'm in, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger. The more rounds, which is better for me, warm up in the first few rounds. But yeah, I couldn't be happier with where I'm at right now.
Now, there's a lot of talk around potential title fights in touching distance for you. Now you've done 8 rounds, you've got it under your belt. Is it title fights next?
We're working towards titles. We said we'll wait and see what happens tonight, obviously. If I pick up any injuries, if I don't work to my full potential, we go away, we work and we come back and we regroup. So yeah, it's obviously something I'm going to chat to my team about, but obviously that's the aim. And when we get there, I'm going to be ready.
It was a fantastic performance. Final word to all your fans here.
Yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of my supporters, honestly, the most loyal people. My sponsors, unreal, I wouldn't be here without them today. They always buy a ticket, they're even asking about the next one, like before I've even fought tonight. Like, I love them all and just thank you so much. And obviously to my team, my coaches, everyone gives so much time to me and I couldn't be more blessed. So yeah, thank you.
Well done, Harli.